Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Second Acts is back, and we're here with none other than my brother Kenneth. You know what I'm saying? Fresh. Are we going to say fresh out of Nigeria or are you fresh out of Atlanta?
I'll say fresh out of Atlanta. Yeah.
You cutting your heritage loose?
No, I'm very proud. No, so that'd be like almost 40 years ago. So, but yeah, very, very proud Nigerian.
We're talking about Second Acts, and in Second Acts, we focus on helping people get unstuck, move forward, get out of prison. Mm-hmm. I literally was in prison.
Yeah.
And when I came home, I had to turn my life around. Mm-hmm. This isn't just for people literally in prison.
Yeah.
There are some people in prison in addiction, in prison in bad relationships, in prison in low self-esteem, in depression, and bad jobs. I mean, suicidal thoughts. I mean, I want to open it up to say, you know something? If you are struggling and you've created a prison, we want to help you get out of it.
Good.
I mean, a lot of this stuff we're going to talk about is criminal justice, recidivism, but I want it to be known that, and again, we definitely want to see women succeed, because so often in conversations, we just assume that women are included.
Yeah.
But they want to hear their name said. They want to hear it claimed, and this is for females.
Very much
Not
so.
just, you should just assume it's for you.
Yeah, very much so.
So I need you to tell our listeners your story.
So my name is Kenneth Igwe. I am originally born in Nigeria, came here when I was 3, raised in Houston, Texas, came to Atlanta to go to school. Before that, I was supposed to be a good Nigerian boy and become a doctor and engineer. But I was supposed to be the world's greatest neurosurgeon. But I wanted to be a neurosurgeon for all the wrong reasons. I'll never forget it. I was in the 9th grade, and the guy is speaking. He's like a career day, and he tells everybody, I make $500 an hour as a neurosurgeon. And I'm like, yo, I'm in. I was like, I was going to be the world's greatest neurosurgeon until me being a junior in high school. And so what happened there was I actually went to I interned with a neurosurgeon, and I saw my very first live surgery. And once I saw that, it was like, I saw all the blood. I saw all the stuff that they don't show you on TV.
Didn't happen at career day.
Didn't happen at career day. So that one, I almost fainted, I'll be honest. And I was just like, you know what, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I was always good at math, so kind of went into a journey of becoming an engineer. So finally, from there, fast forward, came to Atlanta, did a math degree, got an electrical engineering degree, and kind of dabbled in real estate. Essentially, I was wholesaling properties when I was actually a couple of years outside of college. Decided to kind of get into the world of investment banking, and also went to a school not necessarily from your parts, Harvard University, where I was able to get a master's in finance. Yeah, so got a master's, was able to get into the commercial investment banking world. Loved investment banking, loved finance, like real estate. After a couple of years of working in investment banking, we decided that, it wasn't really for me, because I was working around a lot of folks who were, quote unquote, not the most genuine of people. And so what we did is we just kind of started a company called Baker Collins back in 2015 that allows us to finance real estate projects all over the country. So that's kind of like a very abbreviated version as to how I arrived here.
Okay, so Baker Collins, I know the company. So what is the loan capacity of Baker Collins?
So we have a couple warehouse lines. We can go up to $100 million in financing of residential as well as commercial real estate projects all over the country. So you've seen all the shows, the Fix This House shows and the Flip This House shows and things of that sort. We're the folks that they don't necessarily talk about.
You give them the money.
We give them the money, essentially. We give you the money. We give you the money to fund a deal, whether it's a renovation project, because that's the most popular one, where you're going to buy the property, renovate it, and sell it, make some cash.
Flip this house.
Make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 within a 7-month time frame. Go on and keep doing it as you can keep doing it as well. So that's essentially what we do for residential, and we also finance commercial real estate projects also.
You know me. I'm stuck on $100 million. Other stuff was cool. I'm saying we can give out up to $100 million.
Yeah.
Just a couple dollars.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. What we want to talk about is phenomenal story.
Yeah.
I mean, you did everything the right way. You went to school. You tried some things. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
You went back. I mean, You went to college, got out of college, started your company. I didn't know you was wholesaling though.
Man, I was a bad wholesaler. I started wholesaling and I just wasn't bad at it. I was just like, man, I wholesale like 3 deals, and I just wasn't.
Wasn't for you.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. But that doesn't mean it's a really good strategy. We're definitely going to talk about it because I think that's something we can definitely have a more in-depth conversation as well.
Okay. So I focus on people in prison.
Okay.
And I got a lot of cats who are sitting in prison and ladies like, wow, what am I going to do? I've been back here. I know hustling. I know selling drugs. I know robberies. I know whatever my thing is, it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them? Not even about real estate or financing, but just what advice would you give them in step one?
So I heard something today that was really interesting, and I think it was a speech by, I don't know the motivational speaker that said it, but essentially he stated, if you get knocked down and you fall on your back, that means you have the opportunity to get back up. And so I tell people that if you're able to listen, if you're listening to this right now and you are coming out anytime soon, it's always a good advice to just go out there and, number one, get educated. Number one, start to read about what you want to do. If someone is coming out of the system, I think a good strategy for them to start doing will be wholesaling properties. And the wholesaling properties, you know this, you can attest to this.
Right.
You don't need any money. You don't need any credit. You don't need a lot of experience. You don't need a license. Most people are not going to check your background. So that's a good way to get into real estate with not having a lot of capital, resources, experience, not even connections. You can start by doing that. And I know a number of folks who've actually come out of the system and just started doing that. And then they got really good at wholesaling, and then they were able to kind of take that money and use it to start doing fix and flips. And then, of course, they were able to do that and get into rentals. I know some folks who've gone out and they started in that same direction, and now they own a number of commercial buildings. But they started off with the foundation, which was wholesaling, because wholesaling allows you to do that in a very specific time frame. You can literally get out and have a deal in maybe within a 3-month time frame if you are dedicated, if you are going to commit to the act and to the of wholesaling. If that works for you, by all means.
So step one is learn how to be dedicated.
Learn how to be dedicated. You got to be committed. Like, this doesn't happen like for anyone. It's just, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. But you just got to be dedicated.
I guess going to prison's easy then.
I don't know.
Everybody seems to be up in there.
I'll just say, obviously something didn't work out. I'll use the words on as well. Mm-hmm.
So get dedicated.
Yeah.
Wholesaling is a good step.
Yeah.
Now, you do deals.
I do.
So let's take me, the guy who just got out of jail 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I know Errol, my guy Errol, he dropped out of college, or he says retired from college.
Okay.
And he was doing 6 figures on wholesaling.
Yeah.
And that's why I first got introduced to wholesaling when I ran into him. He was him and a few other folks.
Yeah.
So what does a deal break down to? So I'm coming out of jail. What does wholesaling mean?
Wholesaling essentially means you are a middleman for a real estate transaction. If you find a property for $50,000 and you know it's worth, let's say, $70,000, you can sell it to somebody else for $60,000, take a $10,000 profit, and then, of course, you sell it to someone else for for $60,000, and they still have a little bit of spread in the deal. But that way, you've essentially assigned a contract. You've put a property under contract for one price, and then you sell it for another price, in many cases within a couple of days, in some cases a couple of weeks. It is the easiest and it's the fastest way to start to create wealth, start to create revenue for your real estate investment projects.
Gotcha. So I got to ask, it's a question we both know the answer to.
Yeah.
Because I'm still stuck on $100 million.
Okay.
I don't run into people daily I got $100 million under. It's just what I got.
Yeah.
But I asked this question, not even being self-serving, because we've sat down, we've been friends for a while now.
Yeah.
And I want the folks behind the wall, that's why I thought of it. Like, if I'm them, what do I need to hear to make this make sense? I got a guy on here, $100 million, engineer, great business. He's running his own business. He's doing his thing, living life. I would think you're too far for me to reach.
Yeah.
I could be the wholesaler, but I don't think I could be you, would be the thought I would have. It's not what you're saying,
Sure.
but because I have low esteem and I don't really think highly of myself, in the scenario, I'll be the little guy.
Yeah.
And I want people to think bigger. So I'm asking this question that I normally wouldn't ask. When we sit down, generally, because I don't do real estate.
Yeah.
I mean, I need you to explain to the people what our role generally is when we get together.
So when we get together, first of all, I never want anybody to think that of me. Like, I really pride myself in being able to talk to anybody that can come to me. I mean,
no, that's not a you thing. No,
Yeah,
that's not a you thing. You just do what you do. You're humble. You're straightforward. If I'm sitting in a prison cell and I'm hearing a guy telling me I can do wholesale, it's a great start. You know what I'm saying? I would be nervous to think that I couldn't sit in your seat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're saying they can't. That's just a defeatist mindset.
It is.
And I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, and I'm never going to want more.
Yeah.
So I want them to take the low-hanging fruit and want more.
Yeah.
So like the mentoring and the coaching we do, it's going to be like, I just want you to say, hey, like, well, what does Andre do for your company?
So one of the things that you've actually helped us do is you've essentially opened my eyes to so many things that we could be doing much better. Just the little nuggets that we need, and that many people aren't going to share with me because they think that, okay, Kenneth, you don't really need to know that, but that's farthest from the truth. We are always growing, and I am a voracious reader, and I'm always learning. And I think that's one thing everybody should be constantly doing, constantly learning and constantly getting better at your craft, whatever your craft may be.
I'm looking back, I'm hearing you say, my dad taught me to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And we have, even if it was a positive thing, and it was positive results, even though it was still challenging.
Yeah.
We have women who are taught that they don't matter.
Yeah.
We have young boys who are taught that it doesn't matter, and they internalize that. You know what I'm saying? So we need some advice on wanting. I mean, because again, I don't hear you saying you didn't want to hear your dad. You just wanted some more from your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sitting. There's a lady sitting across the table from you, hypothetically, and she's 26, been through all kinds of trauma and stuff because her dad wasn't there or he wasn't there in a good way. What do we say to her?
Number one, first and foremost, I would say she matters. She matters, and she can add value. However, she matters, and I don't think a lot of people hear that enough. Everyone is unique. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own different perspective that they can bring. Now, she matters, but she has to know that what she says and what she does means something to us. Any person can add value to an organization. It depends on how committed you are to that individual, to that organization. In addition to, I 100% agree with you that a lot of folks, many cases, they don't necessarily feel that they matter, they can bring enough value to something. However, I'm a big believer that, because I see it all the time. I'm lucky to have two, wonderful sisters who are really good at what they do. I'm lucky to be with someone who's extremely good at what she does, and obviously they know their worth. And we never want people to be marginalized. I need them to know that you matter, your opinion matters, we want you to contribute however you can.
So help me break down. Because a lot of people go back to jail, in my opinion, because they don't know their worth.
Okay.
So they trade their freedom for short change.
Yeah.
They change their freedom for some temporary friends.
Yeah.
So how do I get someone to know? I believe if I get someone to know their worth, then that'll change their decision making.
I agree. And I'll not just change the worth, but I think from an actionable perspective, if you're just coming out, one of the very first things I would do, of course, if you're looking to get into real estate, is to join a real estate investment association. Some of these things are free. Some of them, just go to the meetings. Start to hang out with some of the people there. You don't have to give them your bio. You don't have to give them your resume. But just being in that meeting allows you to see what you could be in the next 5 year, 2 years, 3 years. Surround yourself with that. Have those conversations with folks, even if you know nothing about real estate, because you have to start to change your network of folks. And when you start to change your network of folks, and obviously when you come out, you don't want to truly abandon everybody that you are hanging around with, but you're going to have to do that. That is the very first thing I would highly recommend, because you can watch all the YouTube videos in the world, you can read all the books in the world, you can read all the articles in the world, but it really doesn't become real until you start interacting with an individual who's successful at what you're looking to do. Get into those real estate investment associations and then speak up. Like, try to connect with someone. Try to get someone to mentor you, because you'd be surprised. A lot of those very successful real estate investors, they're open to mentoring folks because obviously they've done well and they want to get, this is their way of giving back. So I'd highly recommend that someone does that. That would be the very first thing I'd recommend that they do. Many times when people start to create a relationship, they want something from someone else, but they never ask themselves, how can I add value to this person? So, I mean, it goes both ways. When you go to another actionable step, when you go to a real estate investment association, meet with some folks, but also you're wanting something from them, but they're never going to probably say it out loud. They're going to want something from you. They want to know that you and they obviously probably know way more about real estate than you do, but they want something from you. Give them something of yourself that they can't readily get, or they can't get outside of you. You see what I'm saying? Like, give them something. Ask the question, hey, how can I help you? You'd be surprised how many people never ask that one question. And I tell all the people that I mentor, ask that question. Like, meet somebody, have a conversation. How can I help you? And people are startled when you ask that question because they don't know how to respond in many cases. They're like, who is this person I just never met? Ask me how I could. Oh, okay. And it has to be genuine. It has to come from a level, a place in you where you are wanting to give them something because you know that their time is very valuable and they're giving you a piece of their time. And conversely, you should be able to give them something as well.
I'm going to make you the governor of Georgia just because. Nothing against the current governor.
Ah, man.
Just saying. I don't want to give you the whole country. I'm just going to give you a state.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll take it for a day.
What do we do to fix the prison system, from your opinion?
From my opinion, that's a lot. So one thing I would do is I would make certain that folks truly understand that they have options when they come out. Not everybody needs to, and this is just my personal belief, I'm a big believer that if you're a first-time offender on a nonviolent crime, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you really should be serving these, what I like to call football years, 7, 14, 21 years for nonviolent offenders. I think people can be reformed. I think people make mistakes. It happens. I've seen a number of folks go, especially in the financial system. I've seen people go into prison and obviously they come out a different person. That's for folks, that's pre getting into prison. While you're in the prison system, I do think that there should be tiers and layers of ways how you can kind of soften it up. It should be a way where there can be some type of educational component and people should be rewarded for kind of learning or advancing their educational careers, because statistically speaking, the more education you get, and education doesn't necessarily mean like degrees or anything, but there should be some type of point system that allows you to kind of, be able to probably get out a little sooner than expected. In addition to, I truly believe that people should be able, there should always be another way to kind of, instruct folks. Just the use of technology. I do think that the what they give the prisoners in there, I've read that you get like peanuts a day or something, like pennies a day to do like very hard manual labor jobs.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't think that's fair
13th Amendment.
Yeah. So to me, it's just
committed crime, slavery ensues.
Yeah.
But what we're doing right now is this podcast is going to go on the platform. It's a company, Securus. They have tablets.
Yeah.
They didn't have them when I was inside. They're like 300,000.
That's really
on the way to 500,000 tablets.
That's really cool.
You know what I'm saying? Where people can sit down and listen to this from their cells and study and learn and grow.
Yeah.
And make things for them better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about the tablet system for prisoners?
Man, I'm a lover of technology. To give somebody a tablet in prison goes a long way because it shows that we're advancing as a society. And it also gives it humanizes the prisoner. Like, you don't want to, you spend XYZ time in prison and you come out, now you're have to face with all this new technology. You're still a human, you're still a citizen, you should still have some of the things that we in the outside do benefit from. So to be able to have that tablet and to be able to kind of still be able to receive information, because that's the only way you're going to be able to kind of be more effective on the outside. You got to be able to get information, because information, it moves extremely fast. I mean, Moore's law says technology moves every 18 months. It doubles every 18 months. And by not having information, you essentially tend to slow down the rate of information that people receive. So by giving able that tablets, that's amazing to me.
So we got somebody right now who has this tablet, and they're listening to us.
Good.
And there's a couple options. There's movies.
Okay.
There's music.
Uh-huh.
There's education. What percentage should they split that? Or as a guy who's going to end up with a $100 million company?
Okay. 60% education. If you're really hustling, you're really trying to grind, you're really trying to understand how to get out, 60% education, 20% music, 20% movies.
And
like the majority of your time should be spending working on getting educated in something.
Unless you want to be a rapper or a movie star,
yeah,
it should be 60, 20, 20, so says Kenneth.
Yeah, 60,
now,
20,
if you want to
20.
be a rapper, it should be 60, 20, 20 the other way.
Yeah. But likelihood, I mean,
likelihood,
you're not going to become a rapper or movie star. 60, 20. You're human. You have to be entertained. You have to change your same 60, 20, 20. I know you're not going to, that's the majority of your time should be education. And education can come in different forms.
It's probably the lack of education and exposure that got them there.
Exactly.
I don't think there was a shortage of access to videos before they went in. There's a shortage of access to information. And
wanting to understand that information too. Like, it's one thing to see or to receive it, but then also it's another thing to truly understand it.
Gotcha. So I got this is my closing question.
Sure.
I always go. I'm gonna pass one day. And when I go, I'm gonna have a tombstone.
Yeah.
And on my tombstone, it's gonna say some things. The first thing it's gonna say is Harvard Fellow.
Okay.
The second thing it's gonna say is Honorable Son. I've done some things for my parents with intent to earn that on my stone. What's going on your stone?
He loved, he learned, he helped.
Who did you love?
I loved my family. I love my friends.
What did you learn?
I learned that there are a number of ways to do things and to help people create wealth.
And who did you help?
I helped a significant amount of people create and preserve wealth through real estate investing.
Second acts is all about getting to the final act, which is living your life with intention. And you've been able to live with intention. I've been blessed to be able to live with intention. Now we want to encourage everybody listen to this, that you have value, you have purpose. Now if you live with intention, it'll come to pass. So we just want to say thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? It's always good hanging out with you. $100 million man. You know what I'm saying? The $100 million man is in the building. In case you didn't know, now you know. Second act is going to another level. There you go. With that, we are out because he's got work to do.
Yes, sir.
He can't sit up in all day and make $1 billion. So we have to end right now because this man has serious work and attention to go live out. Appreciate you coming, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hold it down until we see you again.